Hey, what's up, guys? Today we're going to be doing an advice video for iWillPwnYouNoob. He's playing Nuketown Search and Destroy. This is a 10-in-1 Search and Destroy game, so it's kind of odd territory for me, to be quite honest. But I'll try it nonetheless and see if there's any kind of suggestions I can make. Here you see he's running a hard line. That's a good choice to start with. If you take into account that there's no UAVs up obviously at the start of the game, so it makes sense to start with hard line or maybe flag jacket or something like that. Really, any non-ghost perk makes sense. But anyway. Alright, and just real quick, I feel like this is as good a time as any to mention that Search and Destroy is a pretty campy game type because you only get one life in it. There's no respawns, of course. Most of you already know that, but I'm not a fan of the playlist personally because I feel like that facilitates camping way too much, and it's just, I don't know. I don't think that. To me, like, if you look at it in terms of just sample size and statistics, like, all it does is reduce the sample size, like, to one little fucking itty-bitty battle that you'll probably lose because, like, some dude is, like, shooting it or waiting for you to walk into his line of sight at some outlandish angle, which is just pretty dumb. But some people like that. Some people like this playlist, and I should probably be more respectful of that. So, here we go. But yeah, I'm not a real, not a real big S&D player for sure. Alright, well, one thing I would suggest here is that after you finish this dude, is instead of pushing this way or that way, where it's possible someone could be waiting at that angle, right here. Sometimes people like to sit in here, other times they like to kind of post up right here in this corner. So instead of pushing through there towards the house or in this little corner here, I would have, after killing that first guy there, I would have pushed into this little side here just so I could reload and check the straightaway real quick. Because right here, you're guaranteeing yourself that you have a balanced angle or like an even gunfight against somebody if they're coming around that corner. Not only that, but you'll be finishing up your reload around this time and have a good angle on that way. So I'll try to shore up your reload in this area right here, and then once you check that and see that it's clear, look back this way and just sort of go from there. Work your way from that way. And once you see that guy spraying like that doorway, I wouldn't have. Me personally, like, I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's just your teammate went in there and cleaned him up anyway. But me personally, I probably would have probably try to cut off that angle real quick. So like I would have strafed over this way and then maybe thrown like a stun grenade in here. Whatever kind of tactical grenade you have, I would probably throw it right here, and then I would either try to push in on them, just jump in there, or I would have flanked around and try to work my way towards, flanking around. But again, I'm not a huge S&D player, so I mean that the dude could very well have a motion sensor set up and stuff like that. So, and this to me is, once you're pushed into this this second story right here. You know that your teammate is down there and there's no one else in the building. A real big time camping spot in this second story here is right here behind this desk. So some people like to camp behind that desk and they'll just wait for you to come up those stairs or come through here, They'll be behind this little piece of cover here, and it can be pretty tough. They also like to camp, usually in this corner right here, like you'll see this noob right here. So when he pushes up these stairs and this sort of plants his motion sensor without really even bothering to look this way at all or even look that way either, is kind of oblivious, honestly. So yeah, I would try to be weary of this angle right here and that angle right there too. So another thing I would mention too is that the way I would play this entire section of the house, to be honest, instead of pushing through here and funneling yourself through a real easy to control doorway, A lot of people like to camp on top of the stairwell too, and they'll look down this way, that little line of sight right there, and there could have been someone, looking that way, and if so, they could have easily gotten both him and his teammate when they pushed through there. It's kind of a dangerous spot to come through. So instead of coming through that way, I would probably try to. What I would have done is after finishing up that first guy, I would have finished up my reload probably right around here, and I would have like floated. I don't know if you guys know what that means, but basically it's where you kind of strafe while being ready to aim down the sights. Aiming down the sights, and you're also not running. You're just kind of like strafing and being ready to aim down the sights, trying to keep everything in front of you. But I was strafed over here, real quick, and make sure this area was clear. And assuming it is, what you can do is you can hop up on top of this little block here. You jump up there, and then you can climb this lattice like a ladder. Just climb it like a ladder, and then you can you'll be able to jump in the window right here. So not only that, I mean, people really don't expect you to come through that way. It's, I think, the best angle that you can enter the house from. So I probably would try to do that. And of course, we had a good angle on this guy here and stuff like that. You actually walk up this little ledge right here, this windowsill, and see him right there, and kill him from on top of this lattice. So that's probably the way I would have gone about it. So I'll just let it go here. All right. As soon as iWillPwnYouNoob throws this tomahawk here, well, for starters, I think using tomahawk is just kind of silly, to be quite honest. It's kind of like a showboat, like just flashy bullshit thing they put in the game, But a lot of people like do trick shots with it and stuff. But I'm not. I'm not a real big fan of like the teeny bopper kind of hot dog bullshit people like to pull or whatever, the trickster stuff. Like, I try to play a solid game, I guess. So I would probably stick with frags or a Semtex, But teach his own. That's not a real big deal. I'm just being kind of a Jew. But as soon as he throws a stun grenade right here. If he had looked there, he could see that he was off the mark with it a little bit. And once you see it's coming back this way, I mean, there's like 100% chance that he's about to stun himself with that. So what he needs to do is, instead of like rushing through there and stunning, while he's stunned, he needs to kind of pull back a little bit. He can either try to push into this corner right here to minimize the effects of the stun and increase the range or the distance between him and that stun grenade as much as possible. Or just lay prone where he's at, more or less, and just be ready to shoot someone if that guy in the corner tries to push him. Because he now knows he's there on the radar. You can see on his radar that he knows he's there. So, but anyway, yeah. I see right here, he's really exposed. I mean, if the guy like wasn't flashed by the ghost guy's flash grenade, like he'd have an easy, a pretty easy kill on iWillPwnYouNoob here. So definitely play more cautiously, especially in Search and Destroy. I mean, with it being so campy and like you only getting that one shot. I mean, even if it is like 3-on-1 at this point, 2-on-1, it's still pretty risky to push forward like that. So yeah.
Good job, team. Get ready for the next round. Search and destroy. Defend the objective.
Alright, so again, I think it's a pretty good opening route. Like, he isolates this whole pathway, this whole angle there for them to spawn off of and come through, and he keeps it in front of him, and he keeps everything going on over here in front of him as well, too. So that's definitely a good route to take, opening up. And right now we see clearly there's someone making a push in that top story, that second window there. So we'll see how he kind of plays it from here. Alright. At this point, he should be doing a better job trying to isolate his angles and maybe think about throwing a stun through there. The likelihood that Tomahawk actually hitting that dude is extremely small. And really, he's not in any position down here to engage this guy up here at all. You know, that he's got low ground. He's kind of exposed to a bunch of different angles here. Especially, you know, I see right here. I'm not sure what happens with this Two Socks character, but it's not looking too good for iWillPwnYouNoob here. But definitely at this point, once he knows that there's a guy up here, I'd probably try to start floating over here this way, just to keep everything in front of him and make sure they don't have any kind of angle on him there. And then maybe after that he can push towards over here and try to vault up this lattice here and go from there, you know, or just flank around or something like that. Either way, I mean, yeah. So now you can see he dies there. So I'm going to fast forward here a little bit. Okay. All right.
Defend the objective.
All right, again, this is a pretty good opening route here. This was a nice counter he made. Search and Destroy kind of is a game of chance a little bit in a way, because you never know what kind of opening route or you know where the enemy's going to go off their initial spawn, like in each round. You know, it's always a good idea to kind of change up your strategy because with that guy having gone there first, it was a pretty good counter in the following round to focus on that one angle where the guy killed him from and try to I guess get his revenge that way. So that was a good choice. All right, and this is a good move right here for sure. But I will say that instead of like kind of posting up, you know, popping out around this corner and exposing himself a little bit, you know, there could be someone like laying prone to this corner or some bullshit like that, or maybe sitting over here or whatever and popping out, or maybe peering over this little nuclear shelter right here. You could have been looking that way and been aiming on sights instead of exposing himself after he knows after that or before that motion mine. I'm sorry, the motion sensor does a sweep. Blah, 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 blah. Let me start over. Okay. Instead of kind of exposing stuff right here, what he could have done is let that motion sensor complete its first sweep, so he gets an idea of where they're at. Instead of exposing himself right here, so he could have just sat here, and it's something I always do whenever I call on a UAV or anything. Before I progress forward, I always like use as much information as I can, as far as my mini map goes and my knowledge of where the enemy is going to be, before I put myself out there, because you never know when there could be someone around the corner. So thankfully, it didn't matter here. All right, right here, before just run up the steps like that, I would have kind of floated around this corner here, because there could have been someone like aiming right down the sights, and you'll see here that he runs straight into this line of sight here. So if there's someone on top of the steps that way, you know, he'd probably be in a pretty bad spot. Watch this. Right here, he's just running right into that line of sight. So you definitely want to be, you always want to be floating and ready to aim down the sights whenever there's a chance that an enemy is sitting in a popular angle or a popular line of sight or a real popular camping spot. So yeah. Okay. That's okay. All right. Now at this point, he knows there's a handful of dudes in that corner. Let's see. We have, I guess, two. I guess two of them are already been killed, but in any case, he knows they're in there, so he has stun grenades, and he knows that he's in that corner. Now, I'm trying to think of a good way to explain this, but this could sit in the same corner he was last round, but I digress. But anyway, what I was going to say was, like, knowing that he's in that corner, you want to isolate every possible angle that he could take to attack him. You want to cover that as best as possible. So what you do is, instead of like exposing yourself to this angle, like let's say that he decided that he was going to attack back, he was going to like push back and try to counter them. What he would do is, what I would do if I was going to do that is like I would push over this way, probably jump over, and that way you'll have like lateral movement to make yourself kind of a tough shot to line up, and you'll also be able to aim down the sights and try to line up your shot too. So not only are you a moving target, but you're also able to line up a shot while you're moving at more or less like a running speed. So that's what I'll do. And again, the reason that we're posing this hypothetical right here is because you want to isolate every possible scenario you can and play it as safely as possible, to where you're playing this in the most tactical and advantageous way possible. Okay, so instead of like exposing himself to this angle right here, I would have like kind of straight to the left. This cuts off all angles he has to attack him, and I would bank a stun grenade off this wall right here, and I would wait for a hit marker. If there's no hit marker there, I would have then got to the spot right here, and then tried to bank one off this little spot right here, probably bank one off this wall, and presumably you can get a hit marker off that anyway. But at this point, another thing to take into account too is that right now it is a 3v1. Just this one dude alive in that little corner there. So there's no reason to rush, really. I mean, you got plenty of time to attack this dude. Again, I would entertain the idea of trying to approach it from this angle instead. You know, like, this is a really great angle to use. And for the record, it works on this side too. I mean, you can climb up here and then climb this little lattice like a ladder. So something I would probably advise there. But let's see what he does here. So, you know, luckily he was able to just walk in there and kind of spray like that, you know, nothing wrong with that, but I don't think you could play that a little bit more tactically than you did here. Let's see what happens this next round here. This is the final round, I believe, or maybe it's not, I don't know. I guess we'll see. Now, I like the decision to kind of rush that way. He's still keeping everything in front of him pretty well. They're more or less only going to be coming from like right here or right there right now. Eventually there may be someone coming from this angle right here, but for the time being, right now, the one place we'll be coming through right now is like this angle right here pretty much, and this angle right here, you know, so good job with that. Okay. This is a good choice here to come up here and look at this diagonal here, because when they're going off their spawn, they're not going to walk over here and look back this way towards him. They're also not going to come through here and know to look this way at this diagonal angle. People think in very kind of usually when they think of the map, my idea of like most players is they think of like really basic kind of cardinal directions. They don't really take into account like these diagonal angles and all the outlandish angles that people have to shoot at them from. So the only thing I'd recommend here is like, instead of like pushing there so aggressively, like he pushes a little bit too far to the right for my taste, but overall he's got the right idea. I would just kind of like be more cautious about it and maybe start floating right about here and being ready to aim down the sights instead of going all the way over here. You'll see he pops up right in front of two dudes, but obviously since he goes 10-1, he doesn't die. But still, you know, it's a good idea to be cautious here.
For deployment. Napalm strike awaiting orders.
All right, so right now he knows there's an enemy. Yep, there you go. Let's move there. And I love that move there too. That's a real smart play on his part. That's good stuff. So yeah, pretty good round. We got nothing to critique there. At this point, he's got a Blackbird, and they're up 3-1. So of course, he can just wait for this carry UAV to expire since he doesn't have any sort of launcher to take it out. And there you see someone gets it. So with this being potentially the final round, like, and it being 4v4, like no one's really died yet, you know. I mean, I guess 2v2 or two people on each team died, but there's no real good reason not to call it in unless you just want to prolong the game for some reason. But yeah, I would go and call it in there personally.
SR-71 online. Friendly napalm strike on the way.
This worked out okay for him, but for the record, that's an extremely risky move. Like with him having a Blackbird up, that could have been like an incredibly wasteful move to chance like falling down. He could have hit land on top of his napalm and killed himself there, and that would have effectively been a waste of a Blackbird and this his life, you know. So, but it works out okay for him.
Our spy planes in the air.
To this point, he knows there's a couple noobs sitting in that corner there. I don't know what it is about these kids, but they're loving these corners. Looks like he's about to blow up these C4 there, which I think is a good move. Yep, good move there. Now at this point, again, knowing that they're in that corner, a way to approach this is to climb up here, climb up this little ladder, and just start peering in there. You could probably take out that dude. And then at that point, knowing that there's two guys up there, he'd probably want to bail on it, you know. But he could definitely take out this guy and then just kind of work his way around and go from there. All right, I'm not a big fan of this rushing route. He knows there's a dude in that corner right now, and I'm not sure what he was thinking here, rushing in there with a pistol. That wasn't actually okay. At least he reloaded the pistol, I guess. But once this, I guess the stun grenade is in there. He's safe to assume there's a dude sitting in that corner over here. I guess it turns out he ended up rushing them, but I mean, at this point, they know that you're coming through that door. You know, like they know what's going on. Even if these guys are complete noobs, like there's one sitting in this corner, and at this point, as far as you know, there could be a dude sitting in this corner as well because you didn't know he was rushing this doorway like that. So, I mean. One thing I hate about Search and Destroy is like with him having basically only one life this round. You know, with him having only one life this round, you don't have the luxury of making mistakes. You know, in Search and Destroy, and instead of pushing through here, it turns out that after the fact, his teammate came around the corner and was kind of covering this doorway here. I'm not sure if he knew that or not. I would imagine he didn't, but I would try to change angles on him at this point because at this point. All the aggression, all the aggro is like coming from this doorway right here. They're waiting for him to come through that doorway for sure. You know, there's no question about it. And to rush through that doorway like that is kind of a boner move in my opinion. You know, it does work out in the end. I mean, it's still a mistake. You know, so I would again. I hate to keep harping on this, but it's definitely the best way to go about approaching this second level here is climb that ladder and just sort of peering from there. You know, work his way around it. But, yeah. So, in the end, it works out, and he wins the game. Final score there for him was 10-1. A pretty decent game overall. There's only a handful of things I would have done differently, but a nice game. iWillPwnYouNoob, and hope you guys enjoyed the video and found this helpful. And I'll talk to you later. All right, bye.